also in the audio recording of all the material that is there in the book, you have done it in a Upanishadic style. But basically, Upanishadic style, you have the Guru and Shishya, like what J. Krishnamurti has done, Nisargadatta Maharaja has done, and also Ramana Maharishi. They always, it was a master and pupil kind of thing, having a dialogue. Most of all their books are based on that. But in your case, instead of picking a disciple, you have asked your wife, Dr. Prema, to ask the question and you have given the answers.
Right.
So once again, this is completely out of the ordinary. So please explain.
How would I justify this?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, a good question. Thank you for being daring enough to ask this question, because most people are so terrified of their masters that they dare not ask any impertinent question. And this is a good question, by the way. You see, first of all, Krishnamurti did not have any disciples. Krishnamurti dialogued only with the leading intellectuals in the Western world, like Professor David Bohm, theoretical physicist, then Professor of Comparative Religions, Professor Eugene Shalit in Los Angeles, and then some Buddhist teachers, and Nisargadatta Maharaj never discussed anything with his disciples, because no disciples, and only with seekers who came to satsang. Now, I am a poor kind of spiritual teacher who does not even have a satsang, and I don't have disciples, and because I'm not going to allow you to hang on to me, and I'm not going to hang on to you, so you've got to be on your own. So my wife, Prema, she has been with me through all the thick and thin ever since we got married in 1980, and she knows me best, all the difficulties I've had in my spiritual life, and how I'm dedicated to this. She knows everything, and she's actually brilliant, because she's got a strong Mercury in the second house of mental concentration, and she's got the fifth lord in the Lagna. She's got Jupiter aspecting the ascendant house, so she's intellectually very sharp. And people have mentioned this during our travels in Latin America. They said Prema is very, they used a particular expression. They didn't use the word bright, they used the word bright, because they can see it in conversations. And so I said, so what I told her was, because I don't have anybody, and I said, see, I don't have anybody. Now, I want to present the whole thing as inquiry, dialogue. That's the best way of communication. So can you put yourself in the shoes of the people who are going to be in the retreat and question me in a kind of progressive way, one question leading to another like that, not having any mercy for me? Don't think of me as your husband. Think of me as some sincere spiritual teacher who wants to convey something. Can you question me like that? I gave the full freedom. You can question like that. And some questions I supplied, because some questions have been asked to me by people like Ramanananda or Devika or other people who are talking to me and who are following my work. And I said, take these questions also, use them. So that's how the whole dialogue developed, because I didn't have anybody. If tomorrow I actually want to engage in a dialogue, for example, I want to engage in a dialogue where we talk of self-realization from Patanjali's Yoga Sutras and then from Krishnamurti, from two different poles, like from the North Pole and the South Pole. And I suggested this to Dr. Rajan Narayanan in America, that we should dialogue on a public platform, 20 dialogues, each 1 hour duration, so that people will know what this whole thing is about self-knowing actually is. And it has got a counterpart reflection in Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. But we don't know when it will materialize. But I'm open to other people engaging in a dialogue with me. It's not that I've drawn a circle around me and my wife, no. But this just happened that way.